I'm Krystle. I've loved dolls my whole life. I collect everything from porcelain to cloth, American Girl, neonates, and real care dolls. But my favorite is to collect and make reborn dolls. There's Chloe, Grace, Jeremy, Maya, Yuki, Savannah, Zoe, Haley, Landon, Maisie, and Joshua. It isn't easy keeping up with my collection, but it sure is a lot of fun. Hi guys, I am here today with Yuki, and as you can see, she is still in her Canada Day outfit. Here you can get a better look at it than you probably were able to see in our Canada Day video. What is that on there? Fluff. So yeah, there is the Canada Day outfit, and this is from Old Navy, and it's a 0 to 3 months size. So it is a little big on her because she generally wears newborn, but it works. So anyways, we are here to do Twin Tuesday. This week, Yuki is going to be twinning with her cousin Macy over on Nicole's channel, My Reality with Nicole. I will link to her channel or her Twin Tuesday video in the description below. So this week, the girls are going to be wearing this Child of Mine by Carter's set, and this was a pack of 3 onesies and then a pack of 2 pairs of pants. So the pants are like a light blue, and it's got ruffles on the butt, and then the onesie is white, and it has rainbows, butterflies, flowers, turtles, llamas, sheep, and unicorns, and hearts. So it's an array of things. We mainly wanted these onesies because of the llamas, and I believe there's another onesie from the pack that just has llamas on it, which we will probably be doing a Twin Tuesday with that, with those onesies as well. So let's get Yuki changed out of her Canada Day outfit so that I can put the Canada Day things away, because we're coming to the end of June. I just noticed something with her lips. They're feeling a little tacky. I don't know what kind of finish Susan put on her lips. It might be some sort of air dry. Sometimes I find that air dry finishes can go a little sticky. So that reminds me, I wanted to do a video discussing air dry paints and sort of like my experience with them. Now, I have 2 babies in my collections that were done with air dry paints. Yuki was the first one. Landon is the second one. Both of them were done by Susan, and she when she did make reborn dolls, like vinyl reborn dolls, she only used air dry paints, and as we saw, the paints haven't held up well on Landon. They didn't seem to really hold up well on Yuki either, and Yuki got touch-ups and a little bit of a makeover from Susan after I purchased her, because I got Yuki secondhand from an old friend of mine. And so like after I got her, Susan offered to do some fix-ups on her. But I mean, I think she's pretty, I don't know. It's hard to tell. I think she's pretty much held up since her touch-up. She maybe has some paint fading on her hands. But that's a whole other video. I'm gonna do a video talking about the air dry paints, because I just, honestly, with the 2 dolls that I have that were painted with air dry, I just haven't had a positive experience with them. So I just kind of wanted to talk about that in another video. I'm gonna have to jot that down to remind myself. I just wanted to do a video solely dedicated to that, but this is the Twin Tuesdays, so I am just doing this real quick before I head off to bed, because I have work in the morning. And yeah. So anyways, how was everyone's weekend? Ours was not too bad. We didn't really, it was a lot of running errands this weekend, and then we had cleaning to do today. I'm pre-filming this, by the way, for it to go up on Tuesday, but right now it's actually Sunday that I'm filming this, so tomorrow is Monday and I have work. I have to get up at 7 a.m. and tomorrow is the day that I have to take the bus to work. We had a huge thunderstorm today. We had to go out this morning. Well, not this morning. I guess it was like this afternoon by the time we went out. We went out around 12:40, 12:45. And first we had to go to the bank. I had some money to deposit from work. And then I had to run into Shoppers. This is like 3 days in a row at Shoppers Drug Mart, because we went on Friday after work, and then when we got home, I realized I forgot a couple of things that I was supposed to get from Shoppers, so we went again on Saturday. And then on Saturday, we didn't realize till we got home that one of the things we asked the pharmacy for, they forgot to give us. And we didn't realize it till we got home, because it was a weird experience with the lady behind the counter. I think she may have been new there, although I do believe I've seen her there before. But she, for one thing, seemed to have trouble hearing me, because I had my mask on, and I try to talk louder than usual when I'm wearing a mask, but for some reason it was like she couldn't hear me, because we were asking for some things for Riley. We needed a sharps container for all his needles and stuff, and we needed to get B12, injectable B12, because we're going to be starting that once a week or once every other week. And we needed, I needed some empty pill bottles so that I could sort out Riley's pills. Like once I get the gel caps where I can divide his medications into gel caps, like I needed something to like put them in so that I could make like a whole bunch ahead of time and not have to do it like daily. So first I asked for the injectable B12, and she's like, what? And I was like, can I get injectable B12, like that I can inject with a needle? And she seemed really confused by it, so she went to ask her coworker. Her coworker seemed to not understand what she was asking, so the coworker came over to me and asked what I was wanting. I proceeded to tell her. She had trouble hearing me because like they also have the plexiglass, and it's just like, oh my God. So she had trouble hearing me. Then I repeated myself again, and then she's like, oh, okay, hold on. Then she went to talk to the pharmacist about it, because like here in Canada, you do not need a prescription to get injectable B12. So I'm like, you know, it should just be something that they give over the counter. But it was like, they had never heard of this before. It was really bizarre. The pharmacist is like, yeah, it's right here. Give it to her and all this stuff. So they get it. And then, like the pharmacist actually had to talk to me. So we had to wait for the pharmacist. Then she came. So she talked to us. I'm like, we just want injectable B12 to give our cat. She's like, oh, okay, no problem. So she gives us the thing. And then I asked her to show me on the insulin needles, like, because I had the cat dose written down from online. And I asked her, like, where on the needle, like, do I have to draw to? So she showed me that. So then we went back to the original girl and I was like, can I get a sharps container, which is what they're generally called. It's a sharps container where you throw away the used needles, right? So, because we can't dispose them in the regular garbage. So she's like, a what? And I'm like, a sharps. I'm trying to like enunciate as best as I can through a mask. I'm like, a sharps container. And she's like, a what? And I'm just like, So then I was like, a container to throw away needles. And she's like, oh, hold on. So then she goes and asks again her coworker. Her coworker again didn't fully seem to understand what she was saying. So then she came back to me, asked me, and I'm like, I need a sharps container. And she's like, a what? It was just like, oh my God. So, that was like something to throw away used needles. And she's like, oh, okay. And then, so she goes again and asks the pharmacist. It's like, I don't even know, like, were these people aware of these things? Like, they work in a pharmacy. So she goes to the pharmacist and, I forgot to get Yuki's brush to brush her hair. It's getting kind of wavy from the humidity. I'll try to smooth it with my hands. So then the pharmacist is like, yeah, it's just right here. The girl that we originally were dealing with, she's like, oh, you know, do we have to charge her for it and all this stuff? The pharmacist is like, no, just give it to her. So, so then I don't know what happened, but this is where we forgot. We didn't get the sharps container because then, I don't know, she got distracted by something else. And then she was going to ring up the B12, which just had a barcode like that you scan. But she, for some reason, didn't know this. So then again, she had to ask. So it's like what should have been a 5-minute like in and out of Shoppers Drug Mart turned into like a whole like ordeal. It was like 15 minutes of our time. It was ridiculous. So we were kind of distracted by it all. And we were kind of like getting flustered and frustrated and wanting to like get out of there and get on with our day. And so anyways, she came, she was like trying to ring up the B12, then she was having to ask them like, how much is it and all this stuff. Her coworker's like, you just scan it and all this crap. So then she scans the B12 and she then proceeds to like scan through someone else's prescription. And then I'm like, we didn't have a prescription to pick up. That is not ours. So then she's trying to figure out how to void that. And then she had to ask again how to void it. I was just like, oh Lord. So then, you know, we get that paid for. And then I said to her, can I also please get 3 empty pill bottles? And she looked at me like I had 2 heads because I just, again, don't think she understood what I was asking for. And I'm like, can I just get 3 empty pill bottles, just small pill bottles, empty, no label, nothing. And she's like, hold on. So then she goes again, asks her coworker, like her coworker was getting frustrated too because like she kept being asked. And then she had to like verify with me. And she's like, and I said, I just need 3 empty pill bottles. And so she's like, I can give you one. I'm like, okay, fine. So then we just left and didn't realize until we got home that she never gave us the sharps container, and we totally forgot to like reconfirm. So then we had to go back again today to Shoppers to get the sharps container. We also had to get alcohol swabs, which they were sold out of. So luckily they had a couple of bottles of just like alcohol in like a little pump bottle, and we have cotton balls at home, so I was like, good enough. And this, we went to like a different pharmacy, so I was able to get the other 2 empty pill bottles that I needed from them. But yeah, so we had to do that. We had to basically go to Shoppers 3 days in a row, because even though I had stuff written down, I kept forgetting. There were certain things I kept forgetting to write down. And then I would realize when I got home, oh wait, I needed this and this. Like, it was, my lupus fog was so bad the last few days. Just because like my mind has been on overload with everything to do with Riley. So my mind is very scattered right now. Anyway, so we had to go to Shoppers and the bank. So when I went into the bank, it was just starting to rain, but it was like just like the odd drop. It wasn't heavy rain. And from there, I went next door to Shoppers, and by the time I came out of Shoppers, it was a huge downpour, and I got soaked just the few seconds running from the door to the car. And I was like, oh my God. And we saw like a massive bolt of lightning like come down like across the street. It was crazy. And like prior to that, before I went in the bank, like when we left our house, there was like these big bellowing, dark, ominous looking clouds like coming. So we knew it was coming when we left, but yeah, it came on so quick. Now, from there, we had to go and drop off a couple of things at Alex's uncle's house, which was like around the corner from Shoppers Drug Mart. By the time we got there, the rain had sort of died down. We could see that it was clearing in the distance. So we just sort of like social distance and sat on the porch for a little bit, chatting with his aunt and uncle for a little bit. We had a glass of lemonade. Then we had to go to my mom's to pick up a bundle of stuff that she needed to get to my grandma. And like my grandma needed them like today, because my grandma forgot to tell my mom that she needed them, like, anyways, so so we had to drive all the way to my mom's, pick up the bundle, drive to my grandma's, and then of course we can't see my grandma. Well, we can now visit actually with my grandma, but it has to be booked a time slot ahead of time, and you can only visit outside, and you have to social distance and wear a mask and all that stuff, because they're being very careful with senior residents. But we were just dropping stuff off, so you literally just drop it off in the lobby. The nurses disinfect all the items, and then they take them up to the person. So we just quickly dropped those off, and then we headed home. Now, by then the rain had stopped, and we decided to pick up pizza on the way home, because our favorite pizza place was close by. So we grabbed pizza. By the time we came out of the pizza place with our pizzas, it was sunny. It was crazy. But yeah, we had a few days where we had a break from the heat, and it was quite nice. I took Jay to the wading pool at the park on, I think it was Wednesday morning, and that was really nice. I actually like put my feet in the wading pool myself, because it was hot, but not like hot to where I was like dying. But it was really nice and refreshing to put my feet in the water. It was really cold water, but it was nice. I liked it. And Friday was getting a little bit up there in the temperature again, but it was still pretty good. I was able to get out outside in the morning, with him, and then by the afternoon it was too hot. But we're back to this weekend. It's been boiling again. So I was kind of like, damn it, because I think it was about 2 or 3 days where we got a break, and that was it. And I'm just ready for fall, honestly, at this point. I'm actually starting to get to a point now where I'm actually starting, I can't believe I'm saying this, but I'm actually starting to like fall and winter better than summer. Like, what I hate about winter is the fact that you have to bundle up before you go outside. So you have to take extra time to get ready to go outside, whereas like in the summer you can just throw on your shoes and go. But I'd rather have it be cold to where I can put layers on to stay warm versus it being hot like you're in an inferno and you can't do anything about it. It's like, like in the winter, you can put layers of clothes on to keep yourself comfortable and warm. Like when I'm at home watching TV, if I'm cold, I can throw on my heated blanket and be all snuggly and cuddly and warm and comfortable. But in the summer, it's like, what can you do? You can't walk around naked, and even that, like even if you're like sleeping naked or something, like I'm still boiling hot. So it's like you can't get away from it unless you have air conditioning, of course. But yeah, it's just, I hate it. I'm really starting to hate the summer weather and the heat. I didn't get any socks for her because again, it's hot. So, but yeah, that was our weekend. Basically was running around, getting stuff for Riley and all his medications. On Friday when we went to the dollar store and I bought a bin to keep all of his stuff in, like all his needles and medications and everything, because they were starting to take over our counter, and our counter is pretty much already taken over by my medications, like, let alone Riley's stuff. It's insane. So, that's basically what we did. And then when we got home today, after we had our pizza, which was like an early dinner, we had to do laundry and cleaning. Just a busy weekend. We did end up giving Riley his second injection here. This was the first time that we did it ourselves at home. We did it on Saturday. He was originally supposed to get it Friday, but as I said in my update video, we were sort of hesitating. We finally got to speak to our vet on Saturday. She called, it was her day off actually, so she called us from home, which was really nice. That kind of helped me have a little bit of a better opinion of her, that she called on her day off. And she actually didn't seem to be rushing our conversation this time. She was really taking her time to explain things. And anyways, she just felt that we didn't have to worry about his levels rising too quickly. She said if it makes you feel comfortable, you can wait to give the injections and see what his levels are next week. Or you could give half the dose, but she said he's really on a low dose to begin with, so I don't see it being a problem. So we did the injection and I was so nervous. I know that like I've given myself a needle and Alex has given me needles when I was on methotrexate, but I just was so nervous to do it to Riley because I thought it was going to hurt him. And guys, I got queasy, I got dizzy after the fact, like after we did it, because I guess like I was so stressed and worried about it leading up to actually doing it that afterwards it hit me like I was kind of queasy and dizzy and I had to lay down. But it was nothing. Alex we put Riley up on the back of the love seat. We often put him there for medications because it's easiest for us to both reach him. I just told Alex, I'm like, stand in front of him and sort of hold him, but just like pet his head to distract him. And he did that. And I put the needle in, and Riley didn't even flinch. He just kept looking at Alex and rubbing his head on Alex's hand and purring. And it was like, I don't even think he realized that he got a needle. I couldn't believe it. I was like, all this time I was so worried that this was going to hurt him. And he didn't even notice it. Like, it was just like nothing happened. He just thought he was being petted and loved on. And that was it. And I was like, oh my God, that was so easy. And so, you know, it's like, if this actually ends up helping him feel better, then I'm glad that we tried it, because, you know, our whole reason that we originally chose not to do it is because we thought it would be too stressful and painful for him. But he wasn't stressed at all. And we didn't even have to hold him still. Alex was just petting him, and that was it. So we noticed that yesterday, well, basically since he got the fluids on Wednesday, he's been eating more and he's been sleeping less. He's been more social and more vocal, but really, like yesterday, he ate a lot, and he actually spent I would say the vast majority of yesterday with us. Like, he didn't go in his sleeping bag. He didn't go in his bed very much. He was like sitting on the couch with us watching TV, or if we were on the computer, he was on one of our laps. Like, he was more sociable. He was like more alert. And he even would like lay with me, like lay on my lap while I was watching TV, and he would just be awake. Like, he wasn't actually sleeping on me like he usually does. He was just like sitting there chilling, looking around, he even like looked at the TV a bit. Like, so I don't know if that's just from the fluids or if the injections are also at play. But we have to give him his third injection in the morning. And then tomorrow night when we get home from work, I'm going to give him his anti-nausea medication. We will have dinner, and then after dinner, we will give him his second dose of fluids, and we will give him the lower dose and hope that he doesn't throw up. If he throws up, then the vet, I did talk to her about switching to lactated ringer solution, and oddly enough, she said they don't use that anymore in her clinic because they found cats threw up more with it, which I read in my research the complete opposite. I read the solution that they put him on tends to make cats vomit more than, and lactated ringers like generally don't have that effect on cats. As well as lactated ringers are a heck of a lot cheaper. And in fact, like looking online where I would purchase it online for like under $10, if I wanted to buy the solution the vet gave us online, it's actually more expensive online than from the vet, because the vet sold it to us as a kit where it's like the bag of fluids, the IV tubing, and 10 needles, but for $30, whereas like just the bag of the fluid online is like $34. So I did ask her about the lactated ringers, and she said while she doesn't use it anymore, she's like, you could switch to it if you want. So it sounds like he doesn't, like his test results, his liver looks good, and so she just said they don't use the lactated ringer solution because it's not as easily processed by the liver. But my research said that they just because of the liver thing, they generally won't give it to a cat that has liver issues. But his liver is perfectly normal and fine, so he should do okay on those, and it will save us so much money. So she had said they could switch them to a different solution if you kept throwing up, but I don't want to use their solution because it's probably another expensive one. I will just choose to switch to the lactated ringer solution because everyone in the support group I'm in uses that, and they say it's like perfectly fine and it's the best. So that's what we're going to do. So we have to do that. He's got to get 2 needles tomorrow, 1 in the morning and 1 in the evening. And then we learned we can do the injectable B12 into the port on his IV line, so that way he doesn't have to get 3 needles. So basically every week when we give his fluids, we can just put the B12 in at the end while the needle's still in him, so that way we don't have to poke him twice. So that will be tomorrow, so that will be interesting to see how that goes. I expect he won't feel the needle either, like how it went with the thing, but my concern is getting him to sit, and then one of us has to hold the bag of fluids up and all this crap. So it just sounds a little more complicated than just a simple needle, but we'll see how that goes. And that is pretty much it, guys. So here's Miss Yuki. Let's have her look at the camera. And she is in her twin Tuesday outfit. So the link to Nicole's channel is in the description of this video. I feel like she's a bit washed out. Hold on, guys. There, that might be. That's a little bit better. Yeah. So she looks super cute in this outfit. Don't forget to go check out Nicole's video and see her baby Macy dressed in the same outfit. And we'll see you next time. Bye, guys.